Put plastic wrap in the freezer and see what happens. It will gain new properties you didn't know about. Everyone has plastic wrap at home. We sometimes use it to wrap delicate pastries, but more often we use it to pack regular sandwiches for school or work. Then we always try to have it on hand. It's very useful. However, it has its drawbacks. It's hard to unroll. Especially when the roll is new, it's difficult to start unrolling it. You can easily solve this problem. Just moisten the plastic wrap or your hands with water. If you run a wet hand over the plastic wrap roll, you'll easily find its beginning and unroll it. But once you manage to unroll it, it's hard to tear it off. It tears unevenly and gets all stretched out, sometimes endlessly, and unfortunately, it often sticks together. But there's a trick. One trick will make the plastic wrap very easy to tear off and won't stick together. There's one condition. You have to put it in the freezer. The low temperature will make the plastic wrap easier to unroll and tear off. It will be a bit stiffer. It won't stretch out as much, and it won't stick. If you use it very often and don't want to open the freezer all the time, keep the plastic wrap in the fridge. This will make using it much more pleasant. You'll forget about all those problems it can cause. Put your pantyhose in the freezer and you won't regret it. Will I finally be able to stop buying pantyhose in bulk? Will I save money on this? You probably know the pain of snagging a pantyhose on a nail while getting dressed. Can that change? Maybe it was your and my mistake that we didn't use this freezer trick. Let's check. Prepare 2 pairs of pantyhose. Put 1 pair in the freezer for 24 hours. Now let's take the second pair. Look at these pantyhose. They're intact and elastic. Now let's pull our hand through them, and there it is. Unfortunately, the pantyhose got a run and a hole appeared. They didn't withstand a simple nail test. It happened to me more than once before an important event. Let's try from the other side. As you can see, unfortunately, another run appeared. The pantyhose are now only good to be thrown away. What about the other pair of pantyhose? The ones from the freezer shouldn't get runs. After 24 hours, you can check. You can take out the pantyhose. After half an hour, let's take them out onto the countertop. We start the test again. We pull our hand through the pantyhose and try to pull it out. Look how elastic they are. In this place, any other pantyhose would have already got a run. But ours are intact. I'm totally shocked. You have to try this. No more buying pantyhose right before a party. From now on, all my pairs go into the freezer. Don't store food in ice cream containers. You'll be shocked at what happens to them. You've probably thought you had ice cream in the fridge, only to find dill inside. Many people don't throw away ice cream tubs. Instead, they use them in their kitchens. This is a huge mistake. Ice cream container manufacturers didn't anticipate such uses for the containers. Putting leftovers, meat, salads, or soups in them can be dangerous. My mother-in-law used to do this, but when I told her about it, she immediately stopped. What's the issue? It turns out that some food products interact with the containers. Reusing packaging can allow harmful chemicals to leach into the food. The warm temperature of the dish can precipitate chemical components from it. Ice cream containers are not suitable for storing dairy and eggs. Plastic promotes the growth of dangerous microorganisms. Processed meat loses its taste and nutritional properties. Cheeses may begin to smell musty. Food in such containers molds much faster. Moreover, we should store food in transparent containers. Ice cream containers are colored with chemical paints. The quality and application of this plastic are not intended for refreezing. Put a sponge in the fridge. You'll be surprised by what will happen. You'll definitely want to brag to your friends about this trick. This trick is very simple and cheap, and it will help you with a problem that often occurs in fridges. But first, ask yourself, when was the last time you checked the products you keep in it? Some of them simply need to be thrown away. They can make the fridge smell bad. Take a look inside your fridge. Do you also have water droplets on the shelves or on the back wall of the fridge? If products stick to such a moist back wall, ice can form on them. And standing water on the shelves, if you don't notice it, starts to smell bad. There are 2 ways to prevent this. You can handle it with a regular dishwashing sponge, but don't worry. It's not about cleaning the fridge with it at all. Take 1 sponge and cut it under the rough surface. Make a small hole with a knife or scissors. Pour salt inside. Now place such a sponge on the shelf in the fridge. The sponge will absorb moisture from the shelves. Salt also absorbs moisture. So it's a simple and cheap fridge dehumidifier. The second method is to use another product. Sprinkle baking soda on the sponge and place it in the fridge, preferably in the bottom drawer. The sponge will absorb moisture, and the soda will additionally absorb unpleasant odors. If your fridge smells strange even after cleaning and washing it, try these simple and cheap tricks. You'll be surprised by the result, like my mother-in-law. Put styrofoam in the freezer and enjoy lower electricity bills. Have you ever put styrofoam in the fridge? If not, you definitely should. Instead of throwing it away, put it in the freezer. You'll reduce your bills and save on expenses. Styrofoam doesn't absorb moisture and doesn't dissolve in water. It also doesn't conduct heat. It's lightweight and can be crushed and broken into smaller pieces. If you're focused on savings and every penny counts for you, styrofoam can help with that. Simply freeze it. To do this, fit the styrofoam into one of the freezer drawers. Divide it into smaller pieces. Arrange it in the drawer. Insert smaller pieces into the empty spaces. Put the drawer loaded with styrofoam into the freezer. If you have space in another drawer, do the same. Fill it with styrofoam and put it in the freezer. It turns out that this really works. Styrofoam reduces the empty space in the freezer. Every time you open the freezer door, warm air enters. When the freezer is full, less warm air enters. This means the fridge uses less electricity. The same goes for the cooling part of the fridge. If you have a large fridge and few items in it, you can line the empty shelves with styrofoam. By eliminating the empty space in the fridge and freezer, you'll save more energy. Take a banknote and perform this test. Thanks to it, you will save a fortune on bills. The refrigerator doors are used every day. The condition of the seals affects their lifespan. If the refrigerator is noisy or frost appears inside, it may be a sign that it's time for the banknote test. Over time, rubber seals become stiffer and may not adhere properly to the refrigerator wall. This allows warm air to constantly flow into the interior, and the refrigerator works non-stop to cool the continuously entering air. To check, just perform a simple trick. Take a banknote and insert it between the refrigerator wall and the door. Then, close the refrigerator. Now try to take it out. If you can remove it without any resistance, the seal is not adhering properly. This method allows you to check the entire seal. If the rubber strip of the seal is tight, the banknote will offer resistance. There is another way to save the seal and make it adhere better to the refrigerator. If the seal has no visible defects or damage, try this trick. Use cosmetic Vaseline. Apply Vaseline to the clean and dry seal. This popular cosmetic will restore the flexibility of the seal, and it will adhere properly to the refrigerator. Spread the Vaseline evenly and precisely along the entire length of the rubber. You will definitely feel the difference the next time you try to open the refrigerator. Are your electricity bills high? Let us know in the comments what you do to reduce them.